You're listening to Recovery Survey, the podcast that shatters stigmas around different types of addictions and takes a deep dive into spiritual principles.
Another part of the challenge is just bringing awareness that everyone needs some light and everyone can shine their light to anyone, anywhere. I mean, there's no limits to who you can be kind to.
My guest today is named Sandra Landau. She is the founder of Love and Light to the World, as well as the creator of the Light It Up Challenge. Welcome to the show.
My name is Sandra Landau. I am a registered nurse from Metro Detroit, Michigan, a mental health advocate. I have been on a journey of finding myself and overcoming addiction and trauma. And I have found this fire in my soul that I want to share with the world with compassion. And I've created a challenge called Light It Up. And what the challenge is you perform an act of kindness and you donate $5 to organization. Or you skip performing the random act of kindness and you donate $50 for the organization to do it for you. The donations go to Love and Light to the World nonprofit. So I just founded this nonprofit organization. And what the vision and mission for this is to spread love and light to the world through large-scale random acts of kindness. In the challenge, you have 24 hours to complete the challenge and upload a video or picture to the internet and social media. And then you tag 3 other people and you challenge them in the darkness. I challenge you to light it up. So it's pretty similar to that of how the bucket challenge was, except this is a lot more pleasant with not dumping water on yourself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to backtrack a little bit.
All right.
How did you get into recovery? What does that look like? What's that journey?
All right. So that journey for me was realizing one day that I didn't want to live my life how I was living it anymore. And I needed to do something so I could be a better person, a better mother, sister, wife. I pretty much just started like doing anything and everything I could. Like I joined a gym, I started therapy. The thing that really worked for me though was I found this challenge online. It was called Get Your Shit Together. And was browsing through and it was like, oh, transform your life in 7 days or whatever. And I was like, oh, this is dumb. But hey, I need to get my shit together. So I did it. And so I did this challenge, and it was the thing that really changed my life. It had all of the things in it were helping you get rid of old stories and old traumas and pretty much growing and recovering and pretty much being able to be strong enough to write your own story.
Awesome. So were you already a nurse when you went into the recovery process? Or is this something that you've done since you've entered recovery and gotten clean, sober, however you prefer to refer to that?
Yeah, actually, I've been a nurse for 8 years. I actually didn't have my issues until I stopped working at a hospital. It was after that I did like facilitation care, like at home over my computer, is actually when I started having my issues. So for me, that's how, like, to not be around people and stuff, I think that's how I was able to like get through it.
I don't want to pry too far, and if you don't want to answer the question, that's fine, but did you start using because of your career and easy access to medications?
No, not at all. Because when I worked at the hospital, I didn't have any issues whatsoever. It was after I left the hospital and I didn't have any access to medications. The only medications that I had access to were personal medications from a psychiatrist. I've never ever had access at a job. Like while I was having the issues, it was strictly my own personal from my psychiatrist.
What made you decide that you wanted to start Light It Up?
what really made me want to do that is just my compassion for people. There's so many people out there that are just hurting from so many different reasons, and I believe that we all have a light inside of us that we can shine to the next person, and just to like move that around the world. And I just think our world can become a better place, and a people that can be a better people.
The world could definitely use more kindness and compassion and the things that you're talking about.
Absolutely, and it could be as easy as like paying for someone's drink behind you, like at the coffee place, and you just I did it the other day. I said, "Oh, I just want to light up the car behind me. I'd like to pay for their coffee." And you would be surprised at how much that like makes someone's day. Because you don't know what the person next to you is going through. Just a little bit of kindness, that little act of kindness, that could change something for them big.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think of the movie Pay It Forward.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I should.
It's the same kind of concept.
Okay.
Basically, oh man, it's been a long time since I've seen the movie. But it sounds similar to what you're talking about, where you do an act of kindness for someone that they couldn't do for themselves, and the only stipulation is that you then pay that forward and do something for someone else.
Right. Okay. And that's what this whole thing is. I want to inspire and encourage the movement of love and light and the movement of acts of kindness. Because when you inspire and encourage, you become an example and you move inspiration and encouragement through a simple random act of kindness.
That's beautiful.
Thanks. So that's what I'm trying to do, inspire and encourage the world. Another part of the challenge is just bringing awareness that everyone needs some light and everyone can shine their light to anyone, anywhere. I mean, there's no limits to who you can be kind to, any race, age, gender, political view. I mean, anybody in the entire world can shed their love and light and can receive, acts of kindness. And anywhere too, any city, state, country. I mean, it's endless where you can help somebody. The awareness piece for the challenge is lighting up the world with the color yellow, the color of hope. The it's on our website. It's kind of the vision to see yellow on doors and windows and people's homes and people's businesses. And I'd love to drive to McDonald's one day and have yellow on their windows as they have like the logo on their coffee cup giving out free coffee to their customers. It's a big dream, Brett.
So, as an organization, what kind of things do you guys do to help spread that message? And I think you mentioned that with those donations that you use those to help people. So, what does that look like?
Yeah, so we're a brand new organization. I just founded it. Actually, all the paperwork went through. I've been working on it for a while, but all the paperwork just went through at the beginning of this month. So actually, we do have a board, and it's a baby. We're meeting to go through exactly what that looks like on who and how we're gonna help. We've just started to get some donations. I think I got our first donation for the organization was $50, and I'm so happy. So what it is we can help anyone anywhere for anything, pretty much anyone that needs love and light. I mean, it could be as little. I mean, not as little because every act of kindness is big. It could be feeding a family that needs food. It could be helping a community that needs something. I mean, all the way to building a school or helping small businesses that are failing. We have so many small businesses right now that from this COVID and from everything, so many people are out of work. I mean, we can help anybody, and that's where the money will go.
Yeah, I had no idea that you guys were so new. That's awesome.
Yeah, you're my first podcast.
I appreciate that you're coming on and sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's amazing. I got your message and I was so excited. I was like, oh, my first podcast. Yay. So I was a little nervous, but you're amazing host.
I appreciate it. I'm pretty new at this too. I started back in April, so still figuring this whole thing out.
Oh, can I add? I'd like to add another piece. So for my challenge, I created a platform for awareness, and it's my website, and it's called Rockstar Testimony. And on there, we are in the process of adding stories of people who have been through trauma or addiction, and what they've done to overcome, and what they're doing now to spread their love and light to the world.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, and I'm working on my personal story. I need to do it. I keep like starting to record it and then I can't finish it. So I'm like, oh, I gotta work up my courage and I'll get it on there. I gave myself a deadline. So next week I'm gonna hold myself accountable and post my personal story. And through my recovery process, I took a selfie picture every day. And I actually have a beautiful collection of pictures, and I describe it of myself from sleepy to strong. And in these pictures, I made a video of it like a slideshow, just on like a picture maker. And you can see the first like 10 pictures are me like in bed because I literally couldn't get out of bed. And I just took pictures every day. And through all these pictures, you can see when I finally get out of bed. You can see when I start smiling. Then you can see when I start really smiling. And then you can see when I like find myself, my authentic self. And I, feel definitely over it. And it's amazing to watch in the pictures because you can see the whole transformation.
Yeah, I think it can be difficult for us to share our stories, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't think I've shared my full story on the podcast. I know I've shared it on other people's podcasts, but never on my own.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, and see, I read this. I found this meme, like I came across that the other day, and it kind of inspired me even more because it said you're not a victim from telling your story. You're going to light the world on fire with your truth. That really just inspired me. It made me feel better, and I'm working up the courage to do it.
I'm sure your story will help a lot of people, and I know you're going to do a great job telling it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
That's kind of the whole goal behind this podcast is to let people have a place to share their story and share what they're working on, books, organizations, whatever it is that they're doing to try to help make the world a better place.
Yeah, and this is amazing, and I'm so honored to be on your show. It's amazing, and that's exactly why I did the platform Rockstar Testimony was to share pretty much because I call my story my rockstar testimony. That when I was going through life coaching, and actually I'm still in it, I'm in like the third level now. I kept just going up to the next class, I guess you would call it, or next group. And now what I'm in is called masterminds. On the journey to get to the mastermind class, you in healing and in your phases of recovery and everything, I found my like authentic self, and that authentic self reminds me of a picture of my sister and I that I have in my office, and I'm throwing up a rock on symbol, and I just feel like now, since everything I've been through, I feel like a rock star. And that's how Rockstar Testimony was born. And actually, on my bio, I have a picture of that. A picture of me throwing up the Rockstar when I was 5, and then a picture of me throwing up the Rockstar now with Rockstar Testimony and the Light It Up Challenge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I still love it. And then the logo for Light It Up is a star with the Rockstar symbol in the middle. And it actually looks like the star has a thumb that's holding the Rockstar hand.
What I thought it was, I thought the star was hugging the hand, but I wasn't 100% sure.
That's exactly what it looks like. Yeah. And so for Love and Light to the World nonprofit organization, the kind of logo for that is a yellow world with hands touching it with like stars coming out of it. I can say, like, I can express the organization with emojis: yellow heart, yellow star, yellow world. Well, actually, you can't get a yellow emoji, but
So as far as the recovery piece goes, are you involved in a 12-step program, or how did you get clean?
it wasn't a 12-step program. It was from pretty much the life coaching is what really helped me. I didn't feel like a 12-step program was for me, but that may be. I think everybody has their own way of being able to do things, but the 12-step program just wasn't for me. So I did the life coaching, and that's what worked.
Very cool. I don't think I've talked to anybody that's gone about recovering that way.
Yeah. For me, it was will. It was willpower, and just realizing that I wasted so many years just pretty much sleeping my life away.
And that's one of the other things that I like to bring to the show, is to show all the different ways that people do recover and all the different ideas, and there's not one right way to do it.
Right,
There's different kinds of people, different kinds of programs. Everybody has to find their own way and what works for them.
right, absolutely, absolutely.
So you've kind of touched on it a little bit, but how did you first start using? What did those early days look like? What caused you to start using drugs?
Yeah, I actually, so I worked in an emergency department for 5 years, and I started going through divorce, and I suffered like emotional trauma, and I started having panic attacks and anxiety, and that's when that first started for me. And then my psychiatrist put me on medication, and then they gave me more medication, and I quit my job actually because I just couldn't handle it at the time. And was on all these antidepressants and anti-anxiety meds, and then the medications that my psychiatrist, the other ones that they gave me, I just took too many of them often, and it would just make me sleep, and that's how I escaped the pain I was going through.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to aspects of that. I mean, my story's not exactly the same, but I can relate to the idea of trying to escape whatever it is that we're going through and not having to deal with those emotions and feelings.
Right, absolutely. And that escape comes in many forms, like gambling. I mean, there's just a million different addictions that people don't realize that we do, that are trying to fill a void or to ease the pain, or and really it's just a band-aid. They're all band-aids.
They're definitely all a temporary fix.
Absolutely. And until you can really reach inside of yourself and find the willpower to overcome, that's the main thing. And then when you do, help others find their willpower to overcome.
Yeah, that's been a huge part of my recovery, is getting involved with my group and trying to help other people that are new or even people that aren't new and be of service to others.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As a nurse, how do you view anxiety and depression?
I think a lot of people use, or like the different addictions, because they want to try to mask that depression or that anxiety or something, like we said, the band-aid, to make them feel better. And now I still struggle with some anxiety, and I'm able to just breathe through it, and I don't panic anymore. My lifestyle has changed. I exercise in the morning, I do meditations, and there's so many natural ways that you can fight the anxiety or fight the depression, and that's what's worked for me. Yep, that's been working for me. So every day I have my routine of exercise, meditate, try to eat a little healthier, but I'm not really good at doing that.
Yeah, I've definitely found those kind of things have been very beneficial in my life and have helped with just my mental health and recovery and all of that.
Absolutely. Journaling too. Journaling has been a big one for me. Journaling really helps as well.
I haven't done as much of the journaling.
Okay. It kind of helps just do like a brain dump, Like, if you're overthinking or anything that's bothering you, or just sit down and set a timer. And I would do 5 minutes and I would just write, like not even think, just put my pen on the paper and just flow with whatever comes out. And that really, really helps.
Yeah, I think those are some great suggestions, and I think if there's people that are listening that don't do those things, give it a try. That's what I always try to encourage people is try new things, and if it doesn't work, then you don't have to keep doing it.
Right, right. Yeah, absolutely.
At the end of the show, I like to give the guests an opportunity just to share whatever's on their heart, and then maybe you can tell the listeners how they can find you.
So I really want to put the message out that everyone, everywhere can use love and light and acts of kindness, and everyone can shine their light on the next person. I am one person with a voice, and I'm asking you to use your voice to shine a little light in the darkness and to light up this world. I challenge you to light it up. For more information, visit www.rockstartestimony.com, or also our nonprofit organization, Love and Light to the World, at www.loveandlighttotheworld.com.
Sandra, thank you so much for being on the show today. I challenge everybody that's listening to light it up and do something kind for someone in your community. You've been listening to Recovery Survey. If you got anything out of today's episode, I'd ask you to please leave us a 5-star review and share this episode with a friend. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can find us at recoverysurvey.com. You can listen to all of our episodes on the website as well as connect with us on social media where you can get previews for upcoming episodes.